Thank you very much to Danny. Thank you very much to the audience, to the organizers, to the Hong Kong Jockey Club for facilitating this. This is really what standing amongst giants feels like. I'm very honored and highly inspired to speak today and to introduce an initiative to you that aims to build the change that was anticipated by the previous two speakers. So today I'm speaking as international coordinator of the Low Carbon City Forum, and we are basically feeling that urge that we need to create a change and we want to be part of that change. This is a quote of Jim Hansen, a very famous and very instrumental climate scientist who published a paper just in the advent of the COP21 conference that we are actually facing a global emergency to wake up the international decision makers. We are inspired with our initiative by, for example, the SDGs, namely the three SDGs that touch us most is, of course, the renewable energy SDG number 7, the sustainable habitat and communities SDG number 11, and the climate action SDG number 17. And of course, we know that the Paris Agreement has been signed. Some speakers on the first day already said this was a very historical, unique moment where the world really came together in a unique manner. And we also have been we feel that there was a call towards us because the Paris Agreement also emphasized the role of cities and civil society as an important stakeholder in building the change that we need. So we feel ourselves as part of this biosphere which needs to transform, which will transform towards a low-carbon future, a post-carbon future, and in some sense this is also part of our DNA. This is an activist slogan that is very, very common within the climate movement. It says we are nature that is defending itself from being consumed by fossil fuel use. So what are we actually doing at the Low Carbon City Initiative? What are we aiming for? We claim ourselves to be a citizen-led initiative for building collective solutions to mitigate and adapt to climate change, and specifically in urban settings. As we have heard today already, and as we know, the cities are sort of the source and also the potentially best place to deal with climate change challenges and build change. What our four main fields of engagement are and aims are to participate in the building of the global urban climate agenda, of the post-carbon agenda. Then we are working very hard to place the issue on the public agenda, in the public mind. We do citizen participation to shift behavior of our fellow citizens, and we advocate to change policies in cities. So it's working on multiple scales. And of course, we know that cities have specific sources for greenhouse gases, but for us it's also important to understand a lot of the work is not only done because of climate change or greenhouse gases per se, but greenhouse gases as such are also a proxy for other emission-related issues such as environmental pollution or air quality issues, for example. So what are the prospects of a low-carbon city? What do we see as this possible low-carbon city? What are the benefits? It will be first and foremost a more breathable city. This is very important for the motivation of our team, for example. It's a city where we have more green spaces available, more parks for everybody. It's a city where we, of course, have a multitude of sustainable transport options available, walking and cycling, with the correctly inverted mobility pyramid on top. And we will have a more healthy and local food stuff. We will not create as much waste, and if we create waste, then we'll deal with it in a correct way. And of course, we will create renewables in a clean and environmentally friendly way. The areas in which we engage in building climate smart cities, these are also the areas of discourse for us in the work. We are trying to work in a very holistic way on, for example, building the forum, or also creating materials to empower our network. So this is energy, transport and mobility, economy, where we see a circular economy as a must, public space, innovation and technology, agriculture and food, education and campaigning, the urban environment, and biodiversity. We will hear a little bit more about that later. We emerge, the core of our activities is based in Medellin in Colombia, and why is that? It's because that was the place where a group of engaged citizens found themselves together less than a year ago and funded the LowCarbon City Forum. And we also took Medellin as a sort of our case city, because it's nowadays, a lot of you will know Medellin as a hub for innovation, and in Latin America as a very forward-looking city, but it's also turning out to be one of the most polluted cities in Colombia. So it is a reference globally, but also a good case study to create change. And in this sense, we want to create a situation where Medellin can be an example also for other cities that are in a similar situation, and create also a place where urban innovation can be brought to. So these are the four areas of engagement, what I will show some examples of, just to remind you about the work with participation, putting the issues on the public agenda, shifting of behaviors, and advocacy for policy changes. So as I mentioned, we started less than a year ago, and we decided to think big. So our aim is to create a network where all this intercity and interdisciplinary exchange of innovations and ideas can take place. So we started the LowCarbon City Ambassador Network. By now, 81 ambassadors are part of this network. These are organizations, government agencies, or engaged individuals that sign up in our initiative and then create different sorts of events, of awareness-raising events. Here you have some examples from Colombia to the left, and to the very right is from Cali and Bogota. In the middle you have an example of a film screening in Libreville in Gabon. And here are some examples from Vienna to the left, where we created a debate about post-carbon streets, and used the label of the LowCarbon City Forum to put that level of thinking also in the debate. In the middle, we have been involved 10 days ago for the launch of the Superblock, or Superilla in Barcelona, where our ambassador actually organized a frisbee tournament in those freshly closed streets, so putting life into the newly developed Superilla block. So as you maybe saw before on the map, we have not so many cities yet in Asia and in Australasia, so we're very happy if somebody wants to join from here, from the crowd, or if you know of somebody who would like to join. We made that a relatively low barrier. You can just go on our website and sign up, and then we send you a kit that empowers you to create certain events, and also feeds you with specific input. What we are doing also, what we started to do, is that we navigate the sort of global agenda when it comes to post-carbon transition. Therefore, we participate in events. We've been at a few events over the last months. For example, we went to COP21. Here I have to thank the Walk21 Network, who that kind of facilitated that participation. And of course, today, for example, is also an appearance like that. We have started to cooperate with international networks, such as the YOTAP platform, that builds change from young people towards more healthy and more livable cities. And what we saw is that we also can gain unexpected alliances and very fruitful alliances. In our work within the Habitat 3 process, for example, we were able to team up with health NGOs when it comes to those issues, so to connect the issue of decarbonization with a renewable energy agenda and also the health agenda. So we think that it's important to be involved in different levels. So next to dancing on this kind of policy stage internationally, we also do citizen participation on the ground here in Colombia and also in the city. To the left side, you see the mayor of Medellin, part of our launch event last December, and the discursive event that we just hold outside in public space. We also do sort of digital creative activation and for awareness raising. So we created a poster campaign in January where close to 80 posters were sent in. Basically, the call was to visualize our themes. So people sent in posters here for energy system, or on the right-hand side for the waste system. It says, small things can create an entire building made from plastics. And we found also a winner. That was most significant to the context, and this picture is one of the heavily polluting buses of the bus system in Medellin. That is part of the problem in the city, creating a lot of air pollution. Then, as a follow-up, we made a photo contest where we also had the shortlisted submissions published online, which creates a lot of interaction for us, and then a lot of the discourse and debate. As is, we find to work with social media very effective, but as you saw before, we think it's very important to create real events in real public space. So here, for example, an image from the north of Colombia that deals with, or that tells about the issue of sea level rise. And the next image is our winner, actually, and this image is called Ode to Progress, and it just also states that the car age is kind of over. I want to introduce one kind of viral awareness-raising campaign to you, which took place this April and was coined the Respira Vida, which means like inhale life. And as some of you will know, Fernando Botero, it's one of the, or the most famous Colombian artists from the 20th century or 21st century. Here you see two of his art pieces, and he's actually born in Medellin. So on the right-hand side is the sculpture park dedicated to him. And in April, we were plastering the whole sculpture park with breathing masks to raise awareness about that issue. So we did that on one day, we're documenting it, and of course this creates very strong images, which are a great backdrop for media to then transport the message. And we were successful with gaining national and international press. So this is the work that we do to bring the topic into the public mind. So we say that we have our own medium in our hands. So we work with social media. Here's our Facebook page. Here's our very rapidly growing Twitter feed. And we also create our own TV channel where we, for example, we put on so background information about the forum, but also we host a series of monthly hangouts related to specific issues of our themes. And one of the recent ones also had Walk21 in it, and we kind of hosted it as a invited walking organizations and cycling organizations to celebrate them as an option for zero carbon transport and to find the common ground. It was a very productive discussion, I think. You can watch all of that online on our YouTube channel. For knowledge dissemination and public training, we also cooperate with universities locally and I hope increasingly internationally. On the right-hand side, there is a a poster of an event that just happened yesterday, and that is where a researcher from Sao Paulo was speaking in Medellin on the topic of urban health. We are also holding a series of pre-forum events in different cities in Colombia to tease for the Low Carbon City Forum, which is taking place from next Monday to next Wednesday. And we were working quite a lot since almost a year to bring that event about. To gain ideas or to invite people, we had a call for proposals that you see here. Again, our 9 themes. And we are now have around 100 speakers from 30 countries that are coming to Medellin to share knowledge and create new ideas in about 60 activities that are plenaries, breakout sessions, workshops, but also urban intervention, tactical urbanism activities, so a variety of formats. We expect around 3,000 participants. And the interesting thing about it is that, that it costs nothing. So we strongly believe that, that when we really want to reach a lot of people, we cannot have really a barrier of a registration fee. And the team of 50 to 70 volunteers, let's see how many we finally have, maybe even more than 70, and that allows us also to create that sort of gift to society with this initiative. So here you see our invited speakers, our sort of panelists. These plenaries, they will also be streamed online, and locally they will be bilingually translated. The forum itself, we will have 5 places across Medellin, and the idea is to use 1 week to also transform or discuss the change in this area. This is a part of the old town in Medellin, where the forum will take place, which is sort of neglected and is just now being revived, and we are hoping to activate the space in that area again. And for that matter, for example, this is for example a public speaking area in the public space that we will activate during the forum. We will create, for example, side or crosswalks as tactical urbanism activities, and also temporary bike infrastructure. So a lot of change that we create with the forum as a chance to do that. So what are our next steps? We are working on the design and implementation of several participatory projects in Colombia. One of them is that we create this My Low Carbon Neighborhood demonstration project in Medellin. We are invested more in research and collaboration, so these collaborations with universities should be intensified. And by next June, we will publish a low carbon city guide, which basically goes out to citizens and enables them or should empower them to create the change they want to see. And of course, to disseminate the guide and other materials, we are looking into furthering and widening the Low Carbon City Ambassador Network. So in this sense, I can only invite you to be part of it in one way or the other and spread the word. Yeah, thank you very much.